Gentlewoman yields. The chair now recognizes the gentleman from Colorado, Mr. Evans, for 5 minutes for his questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, to the ranking member, and of course to the witnesses for coming today. My first question will go to Mr. Meehan. In the several decades ago in Colorado, we had the location of the old Denver International Airport, which has since moved. It's several miles to the east now. But decades ago, the old Denver International Airport used PFAS in the firefighting foam for public safety to keep the airport safe. And it's since moved decades ago, but my district is downstream of the old airport that, has that PFAS load in the soil in the surrounding areas. And so that rinses downstream to my district, to places like the largest city in my area, Thornton, Colorado, which right now is being forced to raise water rates on my constituents to pay an extra $2.6 million a year for the treatment costs of PFAS, which is coming from a site that no longer exists decades ago that they have no control over because it's upstream of their jurisdiction. And I'll remind my colleagues on the other side of the aisle that when we raise rates on consumers, when we increase the cost of living, that increases the rates of poverty. And poverty also has a negative health outcome and causes real harm. So my question to you, in your testimony, you warned about the dangers of additional costs that water utilities could be forced to pay in the form of cleaning up contamination that they did not create. Can you share some more insight into the economic impact that the current system could have on water utilities, big and small, if Congress doesn't take action to remove liability from the Thornton water treatment plant for PFAS that happens decades ago that they did not create?
Well, the cost to ratepayers is a cumulative effect. It's inflation, it's materials, it's the lead and copper rule, it's the PFAS rule, it's aging infrastructure. I mean, pick your poison. And you added just another, I won't say needless burden, but put it this way, an unjust burden on a utility to clean up something for which they were not responsible. It's just aggravating the situation. And it really makes it difficult when you go to a public hearing to ask for a rate increase when you have to point to things that you're really not responsible for which you are being held responsible.
Thank you. Going to Mr. Falbe, we just heard about the impact that remediation would have on water utilities, and you yourself noted in your testimony that PFAS is expensive to remediate, but I'd like to get some more context. What is the cost and the challenges of remediating PFAS versus other hazardous substances?
It's extremely expensive to test for. You have to take special precautions. The fact that PFAS is so ubiquitous in the environment and is viewed as impactful at super low concentrations, parts per trillion with a T, makes it very hard to test, which makes it more expensive, and then certainly harder to remediate. And there's not a lot of great solutions to remediate PFAS at this point. I hope that in the future technology will come to the rescue, but for right now it remains very expensive.
So would it make sense, rather than penalizing local municipalities, small operators, again, for pollution that they did not create, to take a broader, more expansive view of this so that we can, again, we all want clean air, clean land, clean water, but penalizing the little guy for pollution they didn't create, does that seem like a fair approach to you, or should Congress act in this space to come up with that bigger global solution?
Congress should act. It's not fair. We have to remember the CERCLA is the polluter pays statute. Right? They made a policy decision that passive landowners, current landowners of contaminated property, should be held liable 45 years ago. I would suggest with PFAS, because of its uniqueness, its pervasiveness in the environment, and the low threshold for cleanup, we need an exemption.
Thank you. In my final 55 seconds here, Ms. Bodine, like a lot of other regulations under the previous administration that are heavy-handed and have unintended consequences, CERCLA today is being challenged in the U.S. Court of Appeals for the D.C. Circuit by the U.S. Chamber of Commerce and several trade associations. What should EPA or Congress do if that rule is vacated in litigation by the D.C. Court? 32 seconds.
So I think that EPA has other authorities, some of which have discussed here today, which they can use to target. They could target whatever's causing the real problem. RCRA can go after chemical manufacturers like Chemours. TSCA can prevent new uses of chemicals and already has ban PFAS. So CERCLA is not really the best tool because for all the reasons we've discussed here today. And there are other tools out there to address actually the problems that people have said they want to address.
Thank you. My time's expired. Yield back.
Gentleman's time has expired.